Hello there, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Monday morning here, so that means it's Encouraging Cards Day. So this is Encouraging Cards number 15 in my series. And this one is a fun one. So I asked you guys in the last haul video that I had which stamp set you really wanted to see be used, and y'all voted Right Meow. And this one is by Simon Says Stamp. And so, yeah, I had to ink it up. So I actually have two pieces of Express It cardstock there in my mini Misty, and I'm just going to stamp using my Memento Tuxedo black ink, the sentiment on the larger panel, and then the cat on the smaller one because I plan to use the die cut with the cat. And I'll stamp those twice to make sure that it's good and crisp. And then I will pull both of those pieces out of the mini Misty and set that off to the side to get ready to color. And surprise, surprise, I plan to color my cat like a Siamese. And I'm using my go-to colors for Siamese, which would be E81, E84, and E87. And I typically color from lightest to darkest. That's how I was taught, and that's just how I like to do it. I tend to use less marker, if that makes sense, when I do it that way. I know that when I try to go darkest to lightest, I end up using a lot more color. And when you're using all the color, then you end up having to fill your markers a lot more often. So for me, this just is a little bit more economical, and it's just easier for me, and everybody's different. So once I have all those colors down, I will go back over just to meld that color out a little bit with the lighter colors. I'm using my mid-tone there, E84, to blend the dark out. And then I will go back over all of it with the E81 to make sure that that's all blended out as well. For his scarf, I will use the colors R59, just on the red portion, and I'm going to use that too for the shadow. I'm waiting on those colors to dry, so in between I will use the YR27, and then that gives a little bit of time for the red to dry so that I can go back over it with the R59 just on the bottom to add just a tinge of a shadow. And then I will do that once again with the YR27 on the bottom of the orange. For his nose, I used YR12. And then I will line up the die, and I will use some washi tape to tack that down, and I'm going to set that off to the side because I will run that through my Sizzix Sidekick here in a little bit. He's a cutie. So for my scene, this is obviously a clean and simple card, and so I am going to do a pile of leaves is my plan. I'm using the colors Y26, YR27, and R59, and all those will be listed on the screen. And I got the idea from Sandy Allnock, and if you have not heard of her, I will link her down below so that you can check her out. She does an amazing job of coloring one-layer scenes. They're just beautiful and so inspiring. I do want to take some online classes from her because her cards are amazing. Wow, I imagine I could probably learn a lot from her, and it just looks like a lot of fun. So I'm just going back over those colors, doing flicking motions to try and make leaves. And I'm learning in this process, though, that I'm going to eventually need to invest in some refills. I have a few, but I don't have all for the markers that I have, so I'm going to have to do that. So I ran my cat through my Sizzix Sidekick, and then I will work on my scene a little bit here. I decided I didn't want the leaves to just be only on the left-hand side, so I'm bringing the leaves out just a little bit. I'm not making it a full pile all the way across. And then I also decided, since it looks like the cat's almost blowing over, that I would add some leaves to the air. So those leaves will trail off on that right-hand side, and then I just have a few up in the air using those exact same colors that I had before. And like I said, it's a really simple technique, just a flicking motion, and it just takes practice. Anybody can do it. So I'm now going to use my Copic air adapter with my air compressor, which I'm not showing the air compressor online or on the camera, but I'm just doing a circular motion with the color, and it's very subtle. You can probably hardly see it, but you will be able to see it in the pictures at the end. I just wanted a very subtle light blue background so that it wasn't all stark white. For my card base, I am using some Nina Desert Storm cardstock, and I have that scored at 4 1/4 inches to make this a side folding A2 size card. And then I will just use some Tombow permanent adhesive to tape my panel, which now measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to tape that down using that adhesive. I decided I did want my cat to have a little bit of dimension, even though this is a clean and simple card. I thought he'd be really cute popped up. So I'm using foam tape, and I will peel all of the backing off of that foam tape, and then I will stick him down. And once he's down, that'll finish off this card. So, like I said, if you haven't heard of Sandy Allnock, I will post a link to her page down below so you can check her out. She has a lot she can teach. And if you liked this video, I'd love it if you hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And as always, guys, I appreciate you stopping by.